one has to look back to the kind of early days of black people playing football and the kind of news that brought. You know, there are black people playing in a team. You came across the likes of West Bromwich Albion, where you had the first time a kind of cluck of black players, Cunningham, Regis and Batson, came together under Ron Atkinson, and it was the first time a group of black players were on the pitch. Now, you have to understand that for the black community, that's actually quite late on in football history that all this happened, when they got visualised and got seen on the pitch. And so their story was only great in the sense that here's their opportunity and they're taking it. One looks at how many overseas players are playing today, and one realises that, you know, in order to do that, you had to have strength of character, the opportunities had to be presented to themselves, and the black community are in the early stages really of football history. And it's only now where we're starting to, and it's a bit overdue, Howard, in my, it's now we're starting to pay tribute to those contributors.
Pioneers, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're doing it right. There's a lot of organisations doing it. Why has it taken so long? Well, funnily enough, when I went to the first Blacklist Awards, I was giving a presentation on Arthur Wharton. I was very privileged to be invited. It felt wonderful. It was at Wembley. And actually, the truth of the matter is, when I was up there giving my presentation, I actually paused it for a second and I asked two questions really of the audience, or had two suggestions. Number one, I said, why has it taken us so long to see this man celebrated? Secondly, when you go home tonight, everybody here today, just remember that when you're resting up on your pillow, you wouldn't be there if not for Arthur. Your counterparts might have been. There'd have been a black player. But history is made up of these unique moments. And it's taken so long to see Arthur honoured because people like us who champion Arthur, you know, we do it off our own backs a lot of the time. It's all voluntary initially. And you can get burnout and you don't want it to become tiresome. So it always has to be gauged in a way that is sensitive to the current cultural climate in this country. And people have been reluctant to kind of pick up the kind of black banner because of certain stereotypical attachments to that, certain historical precedents which impact on the black community and on the immigrant community, which we all have in common, which is the lack of cultural understanding. And so it's, well, why should we celebrate this black person? What's so special? He just played football. But we actually understand that it must have taken something exceptional, not just to be black and get involved in the game, but also Arthur's 100-yard record, the world's first, has got nothing to do with colour. He simply is the world's first 100-yard record holder. You know.
Did he play cricket here as well? I know the cricket ground
is
behind here.
Yeah, he played cricket here, he played rugby here at one point.
It's like a modern sort of decathlete or something, wasn't he?
Do you know, I mean, I couldn't sum that any better, Howard. He is like the
or
ultimate
superstars.
Pioneer of multidisciplinary sports.
Yeah.
His firsts go on and on and on, really, and I wonder, you know, he once played, as you know, 7 games of football in 10 days. Now, that's against the backdrop of a Victorian England, which is really bleak, full of deprivation, sickness, poverty, disease. The economic climate was terrible, and this young man, in the face of his own adversity, played 7 games of football in 10 days for charity, to feed the poor, if you like. Now, that's a strength of... In other words, he harnessed his profile way back then.
Yeah, for the good of others.
For the good of others. Now, is he one of the pioneers for our modern-day players who do similar kind of work?
Yeah, it's a nice thought, that. What was I going to ask you that?
About the picture, you know, the picture of Arthur.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking on the way up here about the Cleveland Cup picture. And so I'm going to ask you about how that happened.
Yes.
And what the significance is of the photo, i.e.
Right.
the
The welding
goal,
gloves.
the goal,
Yeah.
yeah.